Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we'll take a look at the Hot Toys Star Wars 501 Battalion Clone Troopers Deluxe version. Today I'll be reviewing this figure in the following category: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once those scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So for accessories, I don't think a Hot Toys figure has ever come with as many accessories as this. I thought about Deadpool for a moment, and Deadpool certainly did not come with this much stuff. If you can think of any Hot Toys that came with more accessories, please let me know in the comments below. So you receive two additional helmets, painted well, a lot of weathering to them, very hollow. You receive a backpack, also with a lot of weathering. That seems to be the theme for this particular figure and the accessories that comes with it. You get a jetpack, always makes me think of Boba Fett. I really like the weathering on this one. You receive 4 pair of hands in total, 2 on the figure which are open hands. And the hands that we receive, we get a few that are expressive, which I really like. You receive 2 blast effects for your jetpack. Couldn't think of what it was called for a moment. Then coming down to the weapons, just take a look at these. All painted the same. You do get some dry brushing in certain areas. Now, I don't know what any of these are called, so I'm not going to play myself in. Try to come up with what it's called. Here you get this green scope effect. I like that. And take a look at this bad boy here. Done in a bronze. That really looks nice. And here it has a slightest purple hue. Hope that's coming across on the camera. This might be my favorite accessory. Then we receive a smaller weapon. We've seen this before, I think, with some of the other troopers. And we received 2 grenades, one whole, one half. Not sure if this is magnetic. We'll find out. The functionality department. So for accessories, man, what more can you really ask for? I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. So for articulation, the head is able to, oh, surprised at that, look up that much. It's able to look all the way down. Good rotation, excellent pivot. The arm only goes out about that much. It does not rotate a full 360 due to the soft goods. Very hard to tell where points of rotation as you have this floating armor. So you have a single jointed elbow only bending in that much. The wrists are on a hinge. Find the right pattern, you'll get it to go where you need it to. The chest torso is greatly covered by armor, so feel that we're not going to get much here. So it's able to move forward one click. Pretty sure you heard that. Barely able to move back any. It does rotate. However, the fabric brings it right back to where it originally was. The same thing with the other side. You don't have any pivot at all. And you do have waist rotation. The legs are able to go out all the way to the side. Surprised at that. It's able to kick forward only that much. Let's see if there's a drop down. There doesn't appear to be one. Next point of rotation, again, hard to tell because of the armor. So we're simply going to go to the knees, which are double jointed, bending in that much. The foot is able to, let's put that back on. Okay, so trying that again, the foot is able to go down that much, up this much. Do have decent pivot inside as well as outside. Actually, good pivot. Also want to go up to the top. There appears to be a butterfly joint, moving the arm inwards that much, backwards about that much. Ooh, almost forgot. The leg moves back about that much. So for articulation, you get some things that work well, such as the head. Pretty satisfied with the legs, except for the upward mobility. The torso is completely restrictive, mainly due to the costume, the design. And with the arms, we don't get that much movement there. So for overall articulation, I'll be giving this figure a 6 out of 10. So for design, immediately out of the package, I said that something was off. And it was pretty apparent to me what it is. And I feel that the armor doesn't look like armor. And I think the main reason behind that is because how matted down this is. And it shouldn't have been this matted down. Perhaps we should have had, if not a full gloss finish, maybe something semi-satin. This is too matte in my opinion, and it doesn't make this look like armor. And that's just driving me a little bit mad. Aside from that, we do have some great effects. Just looking at the top of the helmet, I really like how the blue is fading. You can see scuff marks and dirt. Just want to peek in a little bit more. There's some definition around the air hole. There appears to be more wear, such as rust. All the areas inside here are painted clean. You have more rust details in the back. Some of them don't have the best application. Coming down to the chest, you find the same thing, and around with the pouches. Very weathered figure, as I mentioned. That comes down straight to the legs, really from head to toe. The paint application really reminds me of the Remnant Trooper. Assuming that I'm calling it right, the Stormtrooper from The Mandalorian that was really weathered. This has that sort of feel to it. And with my review with that figure, sort of mentioned the same thing. It is too matte. It is too dulled down. And while that works on some figures, I don't think that it works on this particular figure, particularly because the armor is a bit glossy. So for overall design, I'll be giving this figure a 6 out of 10. So is the 501 Clone Trooper essential to your collection? Man, there's a lot of backstory to cover here. A lot of it we will not get into it. For one, it's too much. Two, though I am a Clone Wars fan, I am not knowledgeable in all things Clone Wars related. So the 501 is one of the most decorated and known units in the Republic, as this particular unit went on most of the missions. The 501st was also led by General Skywalker, as Anakin and both Darth Vader. The 501 had a different division created, which was the 332nd Division, that initially was created within the 501 to retake Mandalore from Maul and his followers. The 332nd Division was led by Captain Rex, and on this particular mission, when they found out that Ahsoka Tano was joining them, the 332nd Division all painted their helmets in honor of Ahsoka Tano. If you want to find out more about what happened with the 501 Division, you should look into Operation Nightfall, but this is where we're going to conclude this part of the video. If you are looking for toy options for the 501st, Sideshow a few years back did create several clone troopers, so there are other options to choose from. So as far as being essential to your collection, I'm going to go ahead and give the 501st Clone Trooper a 9 out of 10. So for functionality, this figure clearly passes the stand test. Let's go ahead and see if some of the other helmets fits on this head. Comes off easy enough. And let's push. And there we go. That one fits, no problem. Let me just grip the neck and then pull up. Moving on to the next. That fits on as well too, no issues there. So with the jetpack, I want to go ahead and attach the flame fire effect pieces, whatever you want to call them, first. And there are no ports or anything, so I'm assuming something has to be metallic or has a magnetic effect, which it does. I really like that. No issues there. That works exceptionally. Since we have the figure facing to the back, let's go ahead and try the backpack. So with the backpack, you have actual straps. This usually scares me with action figures. I'm going to attempt to get the arms pulled back and as close to the body as possible. And then I'm going to attempt to use both straps probably at the same time and just work my way up, squeezing on the arms as I'm doing so. So far, not bad. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Let me just press here a little bit more. All right, now it's starting to get a bit tight. Ooh, it's tight. It's getting tight. It's getting tight. Whoa. All right, let's see something. Okay, not so bad. So all I did was just elevate the backpack up some, which allowed the straps to fit over a bit better. This one is turned a bit. All right, there we go, and that works well. The backpack is also functional to hold what I believe are the grenades. Really cool. So let's go ahead and take that off. So next up, let's go ahead and try the weapons. Fortunately for this figure, we received two trigger hands, one for the left, one for the right. So I'll be pairing the weapons with different hands. I'm going to go ahead and attach the hands to the weapons while they're off the figure. And trying to get an idea of how this is held. I think this goes this way. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. All right, let me fix this. All right, so I got the hands to hold the weapon securely. I do want to show something that the other fingers are not around the handle. I'm having a hard time doing so. If you heat it up and loosen the fingers, perhaps you'll be able to do so. However, I have the trigger finger around the trigger and the thumb holding this part, so I'm pretty satisfied with that, and it does feel secure. So I'll put it on the figure and see how that works. All right, and you can get that to work. Going with the next weapon, I figure we get the longer ones out of the way. We're going to use the same trigger hand. This time, I'm going to try to maneuver it this way. And I did not heat up the fingers. And I feel like I'm pressing too hard. So I'm going to see if I can work it in a little bit better. If not, same applies to the other. Okay, so with some major force and being scared a number of times that I was going to break something, I was successfully able to get the hand completely around the handle and the trigger finger in the slot. So let's go ahead and put the hand back on the figure. And with some maneuvering, you are able to get the figure in a shooting stance. I'm absolutely sure I can do better than this, but just playing around a few seconds, this is what you get. But there are definitely some limitations. If the arm was able to kick in a little bit more, he'll be able to hold it better, and that single jointed elbow is certainly not helping any. The head, however, gives a lot of range, which allows him to look down and over. That really helps the figure out a lot. So let's go ahead and try the other two weapons. So this time we're going to try the left trigger finger hand, and we're going to go with this massive weapon here. Just looking at how large this is, I'm going to go ahead off camera for a moment and to try to get the hand over the handle. So instead of using the trigger finger hand with this, I'm going to actually use the hands that come on the figure, as that seems to work a lot better. Well, I just had it working. Yeah, I think that's more accurate. I think this is how it's supposed to go. So I'm not particularly pleased with how these hands work with this particular weapon, but you can get it to work. And if you put him on a knee, perhaps this will look a lot better. And if you give it some time to play around with the fingers. But as you can see here, it's not really holding it. It's sort of mushed in between the two fingers, which is giving it some support from falling. And with that said, let's go to the last weapon. And this time we'll use the left trigger finger hand. This appears to be easier enough. I'm just going to wedge it in at the top. And I said last weapon, but I really mean last firing weapon. We still have the grenades left. Okay, very hard to get the hands in again. Same common theme. However, you see that it does work. I wish that we would have gotten an extra set of trigger finger hands, but I guess the fact that we do have a left and a right one, that makes up for it. So let's go ahead and attach this to the figure. And of course, with this weapon, he holds it the easiest. No problem there. Let's go ahead and play around with the grenades. So with the grenades, the best hands to use will be the one that comes on the figure. Simply just push it in place, and there it goes. And it also holds the grenade that's sort of cut in half just as well. So that's it with the weapon. So just looking at the overall figure, we do have the limitation to the torso area, and that's simply because of the design, not so much Hot Toys. So the accessories work very well with the figure. No issue with the helmet. I like the hands that they do give us. Even though the weapons are a bit difficult to put in, I'm very happy that we do have a tight grip, and perhaps heating up those hands will help out a lot. I'm really happy that Hot Toys decided to give us a left as well as a right trigger finger hand. In the event if one starts to deteriorate, you can use the other. Also, if you're going to army build these, you don't have to have all of your troopers right-handed. I wanted to mention the shoulder part. I do like the fact that this is able to move. It's on its own individual elastic piece. I do wish, however, that we did have more range in the arms. So for overall functionality, I'm very satisfied with this figure, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So for pricing, you have two options. You have the standard, which will run you $220, and you have the deluxe version, which this is, which will run you $250. Add in taxes, add in shipping, you're looking at a price point of around $300. I would tell you to look around to see if you are able to find a better solution for shipping, because where most people are going to get this figure from, shipping is $20 and up. So now, is this figure worth the price of admission? So let's see what he comes with. In terms of accessories, wow. This has to be the most that we receive with any Hot Toys figure, and the accessories simply blow me away in regards to how much of what we get. The accessories are also great for those of us who choose to army build this. You're able to display your trooper in several ways. You have 3 helmets, you have 4 massive weapons which he can use. Very satisfied with the array of weapons and accessories that we get. Considering Hot Toys is charging $400 plus for Iron Man figures, over $250 for Spider-Man figures, I was relatively pleased with the pricing for this particular figure. So for pricing, I'm going to go ahead and give this figure a 9 out of 10. That will give this figure an overall cliff score of. So now, is this figure a pass or a purchase? It depends. I was planning to army build this in my head. I was saying I was going to buy 8. However, having it in hand, looking at the paint applications, I don't know if I need 8 figures anymore. I have Rex on the way, and Rex will be a real indication if I'm going to continue to army build these figures. If you're a fan of Star Wars, in particular Clone Wars Saga, then I would say you will need at least one of these in your collection, regardless of how this paint is applied. So I'm going to say that this is an absolute purchase. Let's get a look at the Stormtrooper. Whoa, let's get a look at the Clone Trooper by himself. Let's go ahead and place in Batman Beyond. No idea how I ended up reviewing this figure before Batman Beyond. Also, no idea that Batman was going to be this much taller. Let's move Batman and go ahead and throw in Iron Man Heartbreaker armor. And let's go ahead and throw in Michael Keaton Batman. Yeah, so that's going to go ahead and conclude this review. I want to thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop, and I hope to see you during the next episode.